Today we're going to be focusing the conversation on pre-orders and why I think pre-orders are really one of the biggest sources of the just poor quality of games released these days, specifically AAA games. AAA games are often released buggy, broken, unfinished, unplayable at times. And you wouldn't believe that these games that are launched are being launched at nine-figure budgets. The development of these games were up to nine figures, $100 million, $500 million. That's how much these games cost to develop, apparently. Although most of that budget money just pours into advertising and not the actual development of the game. So why is it, though, that these AAA studios that are supposed to represent the highest quality content that the industry has to offer, because they have the most money pouring into it, they have hundreds and hundreds of employees, you would expect the game to at least be functional. You know what I mean? I think pre-orders are really one of the biggest reasons as to why developers or publishers, they just feel releasing games broken and buggy is not much of a problem, because you're giving them the money before they earned it. That's essentially what you're doing when you pre-order a game. Now, nothing I'm saying is new or revolutionary. Everyone knows this. That pre-ordering games literally makes no sense in the digital age. Where back in the day, I'm talking about the 90s, the 2000s, pre-ordering games made sense because a hot game comes out on a certain day, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get your copy on release day. So you pre-order the game, usually give them $5 to, for them to hold the game for you, and you could also pay $65 so you can pay the game in full beforehand. But yeah, it's an extra $5 at a physical retail store to pre-order a game so they could hold the copy specifically for you. And it makes sense because it's guaranteed that you have a copy of that game on release day. And so many people are standing online at midnight, and if you're standing online at midnight and you didn't pre-order your game, chances are you ain't going to get a copy of the game. But this whole idea of pre-ordering is essentially obsolete in the modern digital age, where you have a guaranteed playing at midnight, playing it at launch. In the digital age, you don't have to physically go to a store. You have the game right there, ready for download. So, and there's no such thing as not having enough copies to go around. So pre-ordering makes absolutely no sense in the modern digital age. You would think out of all the things to go away, pre-ordering would be one of them. With the market gearing towards digital and not physical, that digital pre-orders would not be a thing. That wouldn't carry over to the digital marketplace. But unfortunately it has, because there are suckers that that are willing to give these publishers money before they earn it. Not knowing the state of the game, not knowing how good the game is or not. Just, here's my money, take it. Because, oh no, if you pre-order the game, you get a cool little skin. And I know I'm going to buy the game anyway, but, if the game comes out, though, and you know it's shitty, you're not going to get it. But you just have this assumption that the game is going to be good. So you pre-order the game because you figure, I'm going to buy it anyway. It's Spider-Man, or it's some other game that I know I'm going to buy. I'm not saying Spider-Man's going to suck. I've seen the gameplay, and I think of it coming out in a bad state is probably, the chances of that are probably not that high. I think Insomniac's going to knock it completely out of the park here. But, you know what I'm saying. Call of Duty's a great example of this, too. You're pre-ordering the game, you get these little cool bonuses, sure, but at the end of the day, you're just causing harm to the industry. You're causing harm to yourself because you're really not giving these publishers a good enough incentive to release the game in a stable state, pretty much. Like, you're not giving them the incentive to make sure that on release date the game is stable, the game is functional, the game is playable. You're not really giving them that incentive when you say, hey, I'm giving you my money right now. I don't know what the game's going to be like. I'm just going to assume it's good, but I want this nice little cool skin, so that's why I'm pre-ordering the game. And these pre-order bonuses, oh my god. It's not as bad as it used to be. Back in the early 2010s, I'm talking 2010, 2011, each retail store, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, all had different pre-order bonuses, and a lot of it was exclusive DLC content that you could only get if you pre-order at this specific retailer. Awful. I believe they still do that, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be because it's pretty much all digital now. They all want you to buy the digital copy of the game, so they usually don't have too many exciting pre-order bonuses for GameStop because they make far more money digitally than physically because you have to pay GameStop, you have to pay for the disc to be made, manufactured at a factory. You know, they don't want to have all these middlemen. They'd rather you buy the game digitally than physically, because the only other middleman is Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo. But with physical, you have, you know, the console manufacturer that you have to pay out, you have the factory that produces the disc, and you have the retailer that sells the disc. And it's so many middlemen that they'd rather you buy the game digitally. The problem is, there's literally no justification for pre-orders to continue to exist. It just exists because they can do it. The same thing with paid online. Like, usually with business practices that are deemed unpopular or anti-consumer, there's usually some ambiguity as to the justification for those actions. For example, loot boxes. Oh, we need to monetize our game. You know, running up servers is very expensive, so we got to have these loot boxes or all these microtransactions. Makes you feel like you're playing a free-to-play game. But, oh no, the servers are so expensive, we have so many players, we need a way to be able to continue to monetize our game. So that's why we're putting microtransactions and all that stuff. Even with paid online, oh, we need to maintain our servers. And with other stuff, like other business practices, these publishers come up with these justifications for their actions, and it kind of has some kind of logic to it, even if it may not be true, even if that might not be the true motivation. It's just they want to increase their profit margins as much as possible. That's why these businesses make these decisions. But with pre-orders, it's like, it's obvious, they just want your fucking money. That's all it is. It's like, you're pre-ordering the game, and what is pre-ordering the game do where otherwise the game cannot be developed or the game wouldn't be as good? Because what we see, this common trend, is that games are actually deteriorating in quality and not improving with all these practices in place. The digital pre-orders, the microtransactions, all this stuff. The quality of the game, even though they're making so much more damn money, the quality of the games are not improving, they're actually deteriorating. Gaming in 2008 compared to 2018, it's just not comparable. The amazing high-quality AAA releases in 2008 were much higher, much more plentiful than they are in 2018. And that's just the way it is. And I just don't understand. I understand, like, okay, I get it. You want this, you're a big fan of Call of Duty, you want this exclusive pre-order bonus item. But it's just causing so much more harm than good that people should really reconsider pre-ordering games. I don't think under any circumstances anybody should ever pre-order a game in the current digital age. If you don't have downloads, you know, your internet's not good, and GameStop is one of your only options, and you want to be able to get the game when it comes out, this doesn't apply to you. But to people who pre-order games on Steam, the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, stop it. You're only causing harm to yourself and to the entire industry. Give publishers the incentive to make the game as best as possible on release day. Because when you give them the money before they even release the game, having no idea the state of the game at release, they have absolutely no incentive because you already gave them the money. They already made their money already. They already made it. But when the game comes out, people wait until the game comes out and reviews start coming in. The publishers have that incentive because they want to make sure that the game gets good reviews, therefore the game sells well. Because there's a correlation between high review scores and high sales. But when people give the money before any of that even happens, don't act surprised when these games turn out to be shit. Don't be surprised. I don't want to hear a single complaint about how awful this game is when you give them the damn money before they even earned it. To people who pre-order games these days, you have absolutely no right to complain about how awful things are. Oh my god, I pre-ordered this game. It sucks when it sucks, it's awful. Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? You already gave them the damn money. It's like, think of this in a broader sense, not even just gaming. If you give someone money to do any job before they do the job, comparing to giving them the money after they do the job, which of the two scenarios is the job performed better? I think it's the second one. Because you've already given them money. It's pretty much like an honor system, you know what I mean? And the honor system these days, it doesn't work. It's just beyond stupid to me. It's beyond stupid. And it's a practice that needs to stop. And it's a very easy thing. It's probably one of the easiest things to solve. Just say, more people just need to simply pledge, like, look, these skins are enticing, but if the game is not good, you're just wasting your money. You need to wait and see until the game comes out. Again, it's no rush. It's digital. You can buy the game and play the game whenever you want. There's no limited copies where if you pre-order the game, you make sure you get the copy. Now, in this digital age, there is literally zero reason to pre-order a game at all. And people need to stop doing it. If you really want serious change in the industry, vote with your damn wallet. It's that simple. In the political world, you vote by casting your ballot. In the world of consumer electronics and consumer products, you vote with your wallet. And that's what people need to start realizing. Keep complaining, but you're not doing anything to solve the problem. That's pretty much all I have to say on that matter of pre-orders. If you're watching this video and you pre-order games digitally, please let me know what your justification is, besides, oh, this cool skin that I can't get anywhere else, even though most of these pre-order bonuses, they sell later on as DLC. For like $5. You're not really gaining anything. You're just hurting yourself and you're hurting everybody else in the industry. All the other consumers. The only one you're benefiting is the publisher, who pretty much has guaranteed money, no matter how good or bad the game is. Not rocket science, people.